not so sure about the chalets, though.
Yes, we wouldn't need such heavy-duty carpentry in the chalets anyway.
No. Come in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, what can we do for you? Is there something wrong?
Oh, dear.
Oh, it sounds serious.
Worse than that. Grave.
What is it, Mr. Pollard?
The idea that I only come to see you when something's wrong.
Because 99 times out of 100, when people knock on that door, that's why.
The 100th. No, I just called in to say hello and to enjoy the pleasure of your company for a few minutes.
Good heavens. Would you like a drink or something?
Well, if that's coffee there, I'd love a cup.
Oh, well, have mine. I drink too much of it anyway.
Thank you.
What do you think of that, Mr. Pollard?
Oh, yes. Yes, I know this.
Guaranteed 7 years.
Yes, I had it put into my Park Towers hotel. The manufacturer said it couldn't be stained, burned, and it wouldn't scuff, tear, or lose its power, but I still had to have it replaced a week after they put it in.
What happened?
Someone stole it.
Oh.
Sugar?
No sugar, thanks. Thank you. 7 years. It's a long time to look ahead. Do you think you'll still be here, then, Meg?
Why not?
Why should we be? We're very happy here.
Well, it's an impermanent world. I'm supposing... Oh, I don't know. Well, supposing you saw a better job somewhere else.
I've never thought of looking for another job.
Really? Oh, that surprises me. I thought a vital woman like yourself would have the same attitude as me. People don't stand still. They either go forward or slip backwards.
I never philosophize before lunch.
How wise. Still, at least I'll have jogged you a little into thinking about the future a bit, which is never a bad thing. I mean, if the motel were to change hands, then you might have to think about the future.
Just a minute, J. Henry. Is David thinking of selling out to you?
Really, Meg? I mean, wouldn't that be something between you and him first?
Are you interested in buying the motel?
Well, you know what they say about the Englishman in the time of the Empire? If he saw something he liked, he wanted to shoot it. Well, if I see something I like, I want to buy it. That's good stuff, that.
Jill, where's Adam?
He's gone into town. He won't be back till late this afternoon. What is going on?
Lucy, the friend I saw in Stratford.
I don't think I know her.
Well, she was a guest at our wedding.
Oh, yes.
I've got this. I picked it up at the motel earlier today. It's for you from Chris.
Thank you. What does he have to say?
I didn't open it. Why I know it's from Chris is because it has his name and address on the back.
Thanks. It'll be the breakdown on the boatyard figures he promised to send, as I'm sure you guessed.
Of course, he doesn't know that you're working here and that I'm working at the motel. I suppose that's why he sent it to the motel, because that way I wouldn't know about it.
That tells me rather more about you than it does about him. I'm quite sure he sent it to the motel because that is where I normally deal with business, and that is what this is, business.
So after everything I've said, you're still considering the proposition.
I told you, it's business. I'll decide after I've studied the figures.
And my feelings don't count.
No less than mine, apparently. Chris is my son, just as much as you're my wife.
As far as you're concerned, more so. Much more so. Well, I'll never agree to any scheme to rehabilitate your son that costs money.
Where are you going now? To see another old friend in Stratford?
To get some fresh
Or
air.
just to see dear Jimmy again?
Now, that's not a bad idea. I have a lot of unfinished business.
So, what have you been doing?
Oh,
Have you got Pat and Seamus with you this time?
Oh, no, they were on the road, like, but I didn't bump into them or nothing.
Oh. You've been sleeping rough?
Yeah, with this Sam Hurst.
Sam Hurst? Who's he when he's at home, if he ever is?
Oh, he's this bloke.
Oh, I see. Well, is he a friend of yours?
Oh, yeah, real good friend. And he knows all the best places to sleep, and he's really smart.
You mean like Pat and Seamus?
Oh, no, not that sort of smart. It's sort of a different sort of smart.
Oh, I see. So, will you be stopping long?
Oh, for a while, like.
Where is he then?
Who?
This, Sam Hurst.
Oh, he's back at Stonebank.
Oh, what's he doing there?
Talking to Kevin.
You do realise, don't you, that it's up for rent? They've rebuilt it. They've practically rebuilt it and redecorated it.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it. He looks really smart. That's why Sam wanted to see it. You see, my friend Sam, he wants to rent it.
The one who knows all the best places to kip.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think it's going to be a bit expensive?
Oh, it's got plenty of money. I've seen it.
Well, how much money can you keep in a sock?
Oh, don't keep it in a sock, silly. He keeps it in a paint bag.
A paint bag?
Yeah. Because he paints, see.
Oh, I see. Very useful.
He does paint. Look, I've got this picture here. You have a look at that. Have a guess who that is, then?
Oh, yes, that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah. Everybody say how it do look like me.
Well, yes and no. It does and it doesn't.
Yeah, but it does sometimes, look.
Yeah. Well, I hope you didn't pay for it, because it's not finished.
Of course I didn't pay for it. He's my friend, and he wouldn't ask me to pay for it. And anyway, it is finished.
Of course it's not.
Of course it is. Sam said it's finished, so it's finished.
All right, I suppose he is the artist.
Look, he said that a picture finished when you can tell who it is.
Oh, they told me they'd sent you through. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How's your eye?
Oh, it's a lot better. Doctor said he wanted to see me this month, so I come back.
Ah, well, you look well.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we haven't got anything for you at the moment.
No, actually, Mrs. Mortimer, that isn't the reason he's here. No, he's got this friend, Sam Hurst, who wants to rent Stonebank.
Oh, all right, Diane. I'll deal with it. The kitchen's very busy.
Yeah,
Perhaps you could send us through a pot of tea?
Oh, no, that's all right. I've already had some tea before. This morning.
Tea. Well, sit down, Benny.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, there is the motel garden. Archie only works in it when he feels like it.
Yeah, he don't like working too hard, does he?
Well, at any rate, we have got a bit behind, especially with the heavy work. So we could certainly use you for a few days, if that's any good.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mrs. Mortimer, but Miss Diane, right, that's not why I come to see you. See, it's about this friend of mine, Sam. He wants to rent Stonebank.
Do I know this friend of yours?
No, I don't think so, because I only know him a couple of months while I've been on the road.
On the road?
Yeah, you see, we travel together, me and Sam.
And he wants to rent Stonebank?
Yes. You see, I tell him all about it, how, you know, it were a farm and that you did run it down, and how when you run it down, you do want to sell it.
Yes, but it's not for sale yet, no.
But he could buy it if it were.
How do you know?
Oh, because he's got lots of money. He's got bank book, checks, everything.
And how often does he use it on the road?
His checks and that. He said he only use it when he do need to. But he not needed to all the time I know him.
Lucky man to live within his means.
Yeah.
Well, it would be very expensive to rent Stonebank, but if he's serious, he can get in touch with Croxley and Sanderson in the village.
Croxley Sanderson.
Yes. We are going to rent it furnished for a short period.
Yeah, well, that's all right, because he only wanted for short period.
I thought you said he was going to buy it.
Oh, yes, but he'd sell it again at the end of the winter.
He sounds quite a high flyer, your friend.
Yeah.
Well, he'd need very good references. But, well, look, you tell your friend, Mr.
Hurst.
Mr. Hurst, to get in touch with the estate agents.
But he needs somewhere to stay now.
Mm. So do you, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, that was something else I wanted to ask you about. Is it all right if I stayed just in the barn, like I used to? But just for tonight?
Oh, yes, for a few days, but not your friend. No, we've had experience of your friends. You're far too kind-hearted, Benny.
Jill said you wanted to see me. What's going on?
David is preparing to sell the motel to J. Henry.
What? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. J. Henry told us, not in so many words, but he told us.
See, it's obvious now why David's been doing all this extra work. He's been getting everything in order, ready to sell out to the highest bidder.
I've made 1 or 2 calls to the solicitor and the accountant, and it's quite straightforward. David can't sell any of his shares to anyone without our agreement.
But?
Well, in simple language, as the majority shareholder, he can sell the entire company, provided that it's a good deal for the company, and that he doesn't make any more out of it than any other shareholder.
What did J. Henry say exactly? Because I think he may be working for himself. I'd like to hear what David has to say before we start worrying.
What are you going to do now?
Speak to David. On second thoughts, you speak to him. I don't trust myself. Tell him to get over here at once.
Thanks for bringing over the manuscripts. Good night, Jimmy.
Right, well, I'll see you tomorrow at the motel. Bye, David. That was only a pretext. Do you know what he really came for?
No, I've no idea.
Please, don't be so ingenuous.
Oh, David, why do we
Came
always...
to tell me that he's taking you away from me. It's all oblique, old-fashioned, and terribly polite, but unmistakable.
He said what?
Barbara, you're the last person in the world who can put on a believable act of being naive. You told me there was no longer any personal relationship, that it was purely professional. You really are telling me a lot of lies these days, aren't you?
No, I'm not. As far as I'm concerned, it is a business relationship. I told him that I love you.
Obviously, you failed to convince him on that point. And quite frankly, I'm finding it difficult myself to believe anything you say. That was rather a peremptory summons, wasn't it, Adam?
If it's unjustified, I'll apologize. If.
Well?
Have you offered to sell this motel to J. Henry?
Where did you get that idea from?
From J. Henry himself.
You had no right to do that. He knew it was confidential.
Is it true?
Yes, I have offered to sell the motel to him.
Thank you for taking us into your confidence.
I was going to tell you if and when we got around to discussing acceptance. There was no point in unsettling you until the deal became a possibility.
You simply don't understand what you're doing.
It's you who don't understand, and I resent your attitude.
You resent?
If we're going to talk company business, should Jill be here?
Oh, for God's sake, David, this is not a board meeting.
Jill is my daughter, not an outsider.
If you wish. But your reaction baffles me. I've spent a great deal of time and effort, and may I say so, expertise, in turning this place into a worthwhile proposition for a potential buyer. You stand to make a tremendous profit on your investment.
But Crossroads isn't an investment for me. It's my home. And one day it'll be Jill's.
We've lived here for years.
Nothing lasts forever, Meg. I may be doing you a better turn than you realize. You need a change of direction. Otherwise you get into a rut.
I see. You're doing it all for me.
And where do I fit into this grand universal scheme of yours?
I've told you you'll make a big profit. With your experience at your age, what more do I need to do for you? I'm doing my best to give you the chance to make a great deal of money without having to lift a finger. Now, what the hell is so reprehensible about that?
Come in.
Hi. I promised to let you know how long I'd be staying.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, let's say I'll keep the chalet for another 6 days, and I'll pay for it whether I stay or no. And I'll give you a definite departure date on Friday. How does that sound?
Yes, that sounds very fair, thank you. Come in.
Hello, Adam. Oh, will you excuse me? They told me that Jimmy was over here. I just wanted a word with him. Listen, I've just had a look at the blurb, and I really don't think it's necessary to mention the Barbara Brady.
Look, Barbara, I'm sorry to interrupt, but something rather important has cropped up. I'd like to speak to you later.
Well, I don't think I'll be here later. What is it?
Well, David has rather pulled the rug out from under us all, and we're all a little stunned.
What's happened?
This business of the motel. He's obviously been planning it for quite some time.
I'm sorry, I don't suppose you want to discuss it in
Oh,
front
no,
of
no,
Jimmy.
no, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, it'll soon be public knowledge. David has been preparing to sell the motel without bothering to mention it to his fellow directors. Now, why all the secrecy?
I'm really embarrassed to have to admit this, but he hasn't breathed a word to me about it.
What? That figures. Yes. Well, can't you deal with it? No, okay, I'll come. I've got to go to the kitchen. I'm sorry, Barbara. I should have guessed.
No, it's all right.
Keeping secrets. No trust. What sort of a marriage is that? If you want my opinion, David's not out of his mind. He's just disturbed.